Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome the dignitaries in this hall. I would request dignitaries to please take their seats on dais. I would request the dignitaries to please take their seats on dais. I think we should welcome dignitaries with a round of applause. Please have your seats. Thank you. A very good morning to all gathered here. We're gathered here today for the inaugural ceremony of National Workshop on Research Methodology and Academic Writing, organized by Department of English, Veer Narmad Sahib Gujarat University. This week-long workshop from 4th to 8th August 2025 brings together some of the most respected academicians and researchers across the country. Their insight will enrich our understanding of literary research, empirical methods, critical writing, and contemporary classroom paradigms. We're lucky to have a whole galaxy of dignitaries right on the dais. Customary it is in our tradition that anything of this magnitude, anything auspicious begins with a prayer. May I now request Jagruti from semester 1 to come and offer prayer on behalf of all of us.
Hello. 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 माता सरस्वती विद्यादायिनी गहनगति तुझ वीणावाहिनी माता सरस्वती विद्यादायिनी गहनगति तुझ वीणावाहिनी नी रे ग पगरे सासानी पम पा रे ग सानी सान पम पा और विराना तारे तारे तू सजरा चरे ज्योति उभारे मयूर विहारिणी भव भयहारिणी ज्ञानिनी देवी जीवन सवारिणी श्वेत वसन धन धवल प्रकाशिनी गहन गति तुझ वीणावाहिनी माता सरस्वती विद्यादायिनी गहन गति तुझ वीणावाहिनी पंचम स्वरे आपे तो माँ तुझ भक्ति ना गीतो गाओ आपे जो समदृष्टि सुबुद्धि अंतरनी जड़तानि भगाओ श्वेत वसन धन धवल प्रकाशिनी गहन गति तुझ वीणावाहिनी माता सरस्वती विद्यादायिनी गहन गति तुझ वीणावाहिनी वीणावाहिनी अस्तु.
Thank you, Jagruti, for that soulful rendition. Now that we have invoked divine, we would now go for another very cherished tradition. We begin our programs with university song. I would request everyone within the space here to rise from their seats for a university song.
मंगल दक्षिण गुजरात स्थापित विद्यापीठ हमारी रम्य अनीरैया तापी पूर्णा सरित नर्मदा अंबिका कावेरी रासनाए विरिशम नदियों न पटकुल बहरी धन्य धन्य धरती मंगल दक्षिण गुजरात स्थापित विद्यापीठ हमारी रम्य अनीरैया पश्चिमी रत्नाकर केरी उतरे तरंगमान कुदरत नीचे महल के भूमि बारे मास रसाल सरल प्रकृति नहा सौलों को आनंदीय विचार धन्य धन्य करती मंगल दक्षिण गुजरात स्थापित विद्यापीठ हमारी रम्य अनीरैया दक्षिण गुर्जर क्षेत्र की विद्यापीठ हमारी माता दक्षिण गुर्जर क्षेत्र की विद्यापीठ हमारी माता सत्य ज्ञान में अनंत ही इस उज्ज्वल उद्गाता तेना गौरव प्रगति विकास हमने प्राण की वाला तेने कंठे तेरा विष्णु सिद्धि जयमाला 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 विज्ञाने चरण धरिए निष्ठाना परिचार धन्य धन्य धरती मंगल दक्षिण गुजरात स्थापित विद्यापीठ हमारी रम्य अनीरैया रम्य अनीरैया रम्य अनीरैया
Well, thank you. Please take your seats. તમારા અહીં આજ પગલા થવાના ચમનમાં બધાને ખબર થઈ ગઈ છે. તમારા અહીં આજ પગલા થવાના ચમનમાં બધાને ખબર થઈ ગઈ છે. ઝુકાવી છે ગરદન બધી ડાળીઓએ ફૂલોની એ નીચી નજર થઈ ગઈ છે. We are in Atithi Devo Bhava culture and we're lucky to have eminent dignitaries on dais. I would now request Professor Mahesh Kumar De to come and welcome them with words. Professor De for welcome address.
So, good morning everyone. I welcome to all the invited guests along with the participants of this workshop to this event, academic event, week-long academic event for 5 days. So last year we experimented that we will create more and more, you can say, facilities or provisions for our students and scholars to interact with the resource persons invited from the entire country, and we try our best to connect with people. This is the opportunity to connect yourself with the outside resource persons. So we tried our best to have 10 resource persons from different parts of India, and that's why the first session will be the first day. We'll be having two resource persons here. So I welcome Professor Niladri Sekhar Das from Indian Statistical Institute, ISI of Kolkata city, and he is taking care of the language department of that institute as the professor and head. And also I welcome Dhara Chotai from Central University of Gujarat, Gandhinagar. So they are the two resource persons. So every day we'll have two more resource persons. So I welcome our Vice Chancellor Sahib, Professor Dr. K. N. Chawda Sahib, who always encourages us and motivates us and remains present, always at the background to give us moral support. And that's how he is also with us for the inaugural. I welcome you from the bottom of my heart. And I think from the heading itself, you must have seen that this is research methodology and academic publishing. And so this is very significant for the students of the department and the scholars of the department. When we promote ourselves to a higher level, so we focus on these 2-3 aspects. We want to be researcher. As a byproduct of that, we want to be academicians, and also we want to be authors or publications. So these 3 significant aspects have been kept in mind to have the first session of this nature at the Department of English. So I welcome you again as the head of the department or as the host of the department, as the host of the event. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that brief and warm welcome. Taking the program forward, we'll now welcome and felicitate our guests with university case. A leader, they say, is a dealer in hope. And we have a visionary leader on days who keeps inspiring us, not just inspiring us, but keeps us energized and do things, outside our comfort zone. Thank you, sir, for sparing time for us. I would request Professor Mahesh Dey to welcome and felicitate Dr. Kishore C. Chawda ji, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Veer Narmad South Gujarat University. We welcome Dr. R.C. Gadvi, Honorable Registrar, Veer Narmad South Gujarat University, in his absentia. We now have an eminent scholar, Dr. Niladri Sekhar Das, Professor and Head Linguistic Research Unit, Indian Statistical Institute, Kolkata, who is our inaugural speaker. I request Professor Amit Prajapati to come and welcome and felicitate Dr. Niladri Sekhar Das ji. Thank you. We now have another very renowned academician, Dr. Dhara Chotai, Assistant Professor, Central University of Gujarat, who is one of the resource persons for today. I request Dr. Sunil Shah to come and welcome her with a university case. Thank you, Professor Shah. We have with us Dr. Mihir Modi, who is coordinating this event, and I request Dr. Rekha Parmar to come and felicitate him on this. Dr. Mihir Mori would come and give a thematic introduction to this workshop. I invite him on desk.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi.
Oh, I think I have made a small blunder and I cover that, I correct it. It is human to make mistakes and learn from it. I request Dr. Mihir Mori, coordinator of this particular workshop, to welcome Professor Day with a case to this workshop. And I seriously apologize for this little blunder that I have created. All right, now we take the program forward and I request Dr. Mori to come and give a thematic introduction.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, esteemed guest and august gathering. I'll take some moments to introduce you what we are going to do for this next 5 days. Research in humanities is frequently misunderstood. When we think of research, what immediately comes to mind for many of us is a laboratory setting with white-coated scientists hunched over microscopes. Because research in humanities is often a rather solitary activity. It can be difficult for newcomers to gain a sense of what research looks like within the scope of English studies. A common misconception about research is reinforced when we view it solemnly in terms of a discovery of things previously unknown, such as a new species or an archaeological artifact, rather than as a process that includes the reinterpretation or rediscovery of known artifacts, such as text and other cultural products, from a critical or creative perspective to generate innovative art or new analysis. Fundamental to the concept of research is precisely this creation of something new. In the humanities, this might consist of literary authorship, which creates new knowledge in the form of art or scholarly research, which adds new knowledge by examining text and other cultural artifacts in the pursuit of particular lines of scholarly inquiry. Research is often narrowly construed as an activity that will eventually result in a tangible product aimed at solving a world or social problem. Instead, research has many aims and outcomes and is a discipline-specific process based upon the methods, conventions, and critical frameworks inherent in a particular academic areas. In the humanities, the products of research are predominantly intellectual and intangible, with the results contributing to an academic discipline and also informing other disciplines, a process which often affects individual and social change over time. Very generally speaking, most research is characterized by the evidence-based exploration of a question or hypothesis that is important to those in the discipline in which the work is being done. Students then must know something about the research methodology of a discipline, what constitutes evidence and how do you obtain it, and how to decide if a question or line of inquiry that is interesting to the student is also important to the discipline to be able to embark on a research project. This leads to a very important question. Why is research methodology and academic writing important? Research methodology and academic writing is important for several reasons. First, it provides a clear and logical framework for conducting and evaluating research. It helps researchers to plan, organize, and execute their research in a systematic and consistent manner. It also helps researchers to justify and explain their choices and decisions regarding the research design, method, and techniques. Second, it ensures the quality and credibility of the research. It helps researchers to collect, analyze data that are relevant, reliable, and valid to answer the research question. It also helps researchers avoid or minimize errors, biases, ethical issues that may compromise research findings. It also helps researchers to report and communicate the research in a transparent and accurate way. Third, It facilitates the advancement and dissemination of knowledge. It helps researchers contribute to the existing body of knowledge in their field and beyond. It also helps researchers compare and contrast their research without other studies and identify gaps and opportunities for further work. It also helps researchers to share and disseminate their research with other practitioners, stakeholders, as well as general public. In the light of National Education Policy 2020 and its thrust on Indian knowledge systems and unprecedented development in artificial intelligence, it's high time that we reimagine the opportunities and possibilities of research methods and academic writing in humanities. The present workshop tries to address various issues concerning research in humanities in general and English studies in particular. I'm sure the dialogic format of the workshop would help researchers and students to develop their own unique understanding related to their own research areas. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Mori, for that detailed introduction. I mean, the relevance and success of the workshop is proven by the fact that it is a full house. There's a good response. Sir, these are our present students and research scholars. And without registration, they have made themselves available here. So I think you deserve a round of applause for your own self. Now I would request Honorable Dr. Kishore C. Chavda ji to come and bless us and inspire us with his words.
अपनी वीरभद्र सिंह गुजरात यूनिवर्सिटी के प्रांगण में आफ्टर द 6th decade प्रधानमंत्री उच्चतर शिक्षा योजना पीएम उषा योजना की मल्टीडिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन रिसर्च यूनिवर्सिटी स्कीम के अंतर्गत ये 5 दिवसीय सेमिनार में के विभाग के आदरणीय अध्यक्ष डॉक्टर महेश भाई जी हम सबके लिए कोलकाता से हमें मार्गदर्शन आए हुए डॉक्टर नीलांबरी शेखर दास जी, सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी से डॉक्टर धारा जैन चोटा जी और हमारे अध्यापक परिवार और विद्यार्थी परिवार। मैं यही कहूँगा कि आज पहले दिन का पहले घंटे में जितनी प्रेजेंट है तो आखिरी दिन का आखिरी पल तक इसमें से कम नहीं होना चाहिए। बढ़ेंगे तो मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, लेकिन कम नहीं होना चाहिए। इसकी जिम्मेदारी आप लोगों के लिए। आपके लिए एक बार ताली बजा दीजिए कि हम रहेंगे। जो जितनी तालियां कम रहती है इससे मतलब लगता है कि नहीं रहने वाले हैं। क्योंकि माननीय बड़ा प्रधान श्री ने ये पूरे भारत राष्ट्र में 1216 यूनिवर्सिटी 1216 यूनिवर्सिटी के बीच में ऐसी 20 यूनिवर्सिटीज भारत राष्ट्र में तय की और इसमें से गुजरात में ये यूनिवर्सिटी को भी तय किया। इसीलिए इस तरह के जो सेमिनार्स हो रहे हैं ये 60 साल के अंदर आप सबसे ज्यादा नसीब वाले स्टूडेंट्स हैं, क्योंकि पिछले 60 साल में जितने सेमिनार हुए थे कितने सेमिनार स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ज्यादातर ये 2 साल में हो गए। इसीलिए मैंने कहा कि आप सबसे ज़्यादा नसीब वाले हैं इसके लिए आप, और इसके पीछे कोई राज है तो आपका पेरेंट्स है, उसके पेरेंट्स याद है, आपके माता से या पिता से के लिए भी बैठे बैठे आप एक बार ताली बजा दीजिए कि उन्होंने इसी टाइम में आपको यहाँ आने का मौका दिया, जो हमें नहीं मिला, कि हम जो रो में बैठे उसे नहीं मिला। क्योंकि यहाँ मैं और ज़्यादातर एक दो याद है यहाँ जो इसी यूनिवर्सिटी में पढ़े हैं। हर दिन वही, जब भी मैं सेमिनार में जाता हूँ तब एक और चीज याद करता हूँ कि 1983 में ये फर्स्ट ईयर में एडमिशन लिया था इसी यूनिवर्सिटी में। मैं यहाँ इतने लोग 42 से आगे आई वाले बैठे हैं, मैं नहीं मानता कि 96% से ज्यादा लोग लेस देन 42 ईयर्स होंगे। ये 4 डिकेड में यूनिवर्सिटी ने अपने अपनी तरफ से बहुत सारी तरक्की की। मगर जहाँ तक स्टूडेंट्स का सवाल है, जहाँ तक स्टूडेंट्स के लिए रिसर्च का सवाल है, जहाँ तक स्टूडेंट्स से इंटर यूनिवर्सिटी, इंटर स्टेट और इंटरनेशनलाइजेशन के एक्सपर्ट पूरे 2 साल तक, अभी पिछले तो आपका 3 महीने से शुरू हुआ है, और इसके बारे में और भी आपको रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा कि सिर्फ आप आपके डिपार्टमेंट में ही प्रेजेंट रहिए, ऐसा मत कीजिए। कुल मिला के 37 सेक्शंस है, तो 37 सेक्शंस में कहीं न कहीं चलता ही रहेगा। तो इसके लिए मैं विभाग के अध्यक्ष को भी अनुरोध करूंगा कि जो बच्चे ये 2 साल में कैंपस के अंदर जितने भी हैं, क्योंकि भारत राष्ट्र में से बहुत कम सेमिनार होते हैं जिसमें बिना फीस किया जा सकता है। फीस से तो ये शहर में मैंने पिछले 40 साल में बहुत लोगों को देखा है, बहुत सेमिनार में भी गए हैं, मगर ऑल आर मेजोरिटी एक्टिव, आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन फी भरना है, वो करना है, ज़्यादा भरना है, ये करना है, वो करना है। तब सभी सेमिनार के लिए मैं ये यूनिवर्सिटी के कुलगुरु के नाते में ये भी आपको आमंत्रण देना आया हूँ, इन्विटेशन देना आया हूँ कि जितने भी कैंपस के ये परिसर के अंदर जितने भी सेमिनार होंगे ये 2 साल में या तो ज़्यादातर 1 साल में ही खत्म हो जाएंगे, आप जरूर पार्टिसिपेट कीजिए। क्योंकि जो मैंने पहले कहा, मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी एजुकेशन, रिसर्च एंड यूनिवर्सिटी, इस टीम का नाम है मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी रिसर्च। ये जो 2 वर्ड है मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी, इसके लिए मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी हर हाल में हमें बनना ही पड़ेगा। दूसरी चीज, ज्यादातर रिसर्च वाले स्टूडेंट्स है, इसको मैं निरुत्साह ले आने, प्रोत्साहन देने नहीं आया। ज्यादातर रिसर्च इसीलिए करते हैं कि मुझे हायर एजुकेशन में सेवाएं करनी है। सही में राष्ट्र को जरूर है प्राइमरी एजुकेशन में, मेकेलों को निकालना है, हर हाल में जल्दी निकालना है। इसके पीछे राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये भारत राष्ट्र के लिए पिछले कई सालों से जो मोर देन 300-400 ईयर्स जो अलग माइंडसेट हुआ था, उनको निकालने के लिए वहाँ भारतीयता, जो भारतीयता राष्ट्रीयता जो है, ये अर्थ से पहले से है। जब से पृथ्वी में मानव जगत का उत्पत्ति हुई, तब से भारत राष्ट्र में भारतीय इंडियन कल्चर है। और पिछले मोर देन 300 ईयर्स जो बातें आई उसको चेंज करना है। जो मैकेलो ने डाली थी पूरे माइंडसेट को चेंज करने के लिए ये नेहरू स्कीम आई। इसके लिए राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2020 आई, इसीलिए आपको मल्टी डिसिप्लिनरी के लिए पूरा सेमिनार करना पड़ेगा। रिसर्च करना है, कीजिए। अगर आप ह्यूमैनिटी स्ट्रीम में है तो ह्यूमैनिटीज के लिए कीजिए। एजुकेशन का मतलब ही है, जब आपने अपने माता पिता जब पृथ्वी पे आपको इन्विटेशन देते हैं, तब आप पर्सन के रूप में, एक व्यक्ति के रूप में अंदर आते हैं। मगर एजुकेशन सिस्टम, राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति का पीछे भी एक ही मकसद है कि भारत राष्ट्र में जितने भी जन आबादी हो, उनको आदमी बनाना है। गुजराती में हमें कायम कहता होइए છીએ કે હું માનવી માનવ ભાવ પર ભરો। તમને માણસ બનાવવા માટે આખી સ્કીમ છે, તમને રિસર્ચ માટે સ્કીમ છે એવું અમે હેડ તરીકે માનતા નથી। We have never understand that this is all our new schemes and all the in last 60 years we are going to and more up to the earth we are going to teach to anytime students and faculties। हमारे एक ही मकसद रहता है कि जो भी पर्सन पृथ्वी पे आए उनको हमें ह्यूमन मैनकाइंड बनाना है। और आपका रिसर्च जो है ह्यूमन मैनकाइंड के लिए यूज कीजिए। वक्ताएं जो होते हैं इसीलिए कोशिश करते हैं क्योंकि इनके पास मोर देन 40 इयर्स उनके पास अपना एक्सपीरियंस होता है। और इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज के अंदर एक डर बैठ गया है कि जो लैंग्वेज के अंदर जो जाता है वो मैनकाइंड नहीं बनने के लिए तैयार होता है। ज्यादातर वो ह्यूमन बनने के लिए तैयार नहीं होता है, तो ज्यादातर ब्यूरोक्रेट्स बनने के लिए तैयार होते हैं। ज्यादातर ब्यूरोक्रेट्स माइंडसेट बनने के लिए इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज का यूज किया जाता है। ऐसे भारत राष्ट्र में एक तरह की एक माइंडसेट हो गया है, वो आपको निकालना है, आपके हाथ में है। हम जो पहले और ये रूम में बैठे हैं उनके हाथ में क्या है? बहुत कम चीजें हैं। लेकिन वी आर ऑलरेडी मैकोलो के शिकार हो चुके हैं। वी आर ऑलरेडी माइंडसेट बाय द मैकोलो वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर एंड ऑल दैट इन लास्ट मोर देन 40 इयर्स। और आपको नहीं ले जाना है, हमें आपको उससे दूर रखना है। देखिए आपके पेरेंट्स भी मैकोलो के माइंडसेट से ऑलरेडी they are suffering from Macaulay's all the techniques and all the immunities and all the ideas and human behavior also। पीछे ये पूरे 5 दिवस सेमिनार तो मैं फिर से आप सभी को, जो पूरी टीम है, एक बार पूरी टीम के लिए ताली बजा दीजिए। मैं बात में कहता हूँ ये पूरी टीम जो है इतनी मेहनत तो अपनी शादी में नहीं की होगी इन लोगों ने, और उनकी फैमिली के शादी के लिए भी इतनी मेहनत नहीं की होगी। तब जाके सेमिनार संपन्न होता है 5 दिवसीय। क्योंकि शादी एक दिन होती है या तो 3 दिन होती है, 5 दिन शादी होती है। हर रोज नया वक्ते आते हैं, अदर स्टेट से आते हैं, उनको ह्यूमन की तरह, क्योंकि सूरत की कहावत है कि सूरत का खाना और काशी का मरना। तो सूरत का खाना अगर प्रूव करना है, अब दूसरी चीज है, हर दिन भारत राष्ट्र में कई पिछले 3 साल से और एक कहावत है जो गुजरात अपने आप गौरव करता है, सूरत अपने आप को गौरव महसूस करता है। और वो चीज है, आप ऐसे शहर में हो, आप ऐसी शहर में आपकी कर्मभूमि है आपके माता से पिता से की, कि जहां पर कैपिटल वाटर जो है एक्सेसिबिलिटी सबसे ज्यादा, वाटर जो है पर कैपिटल और पर ह्यूमन ये सबसे ज्यादा ये भारत राष्ट्र में सूरत शहर की है। ऐसे शहर में आप हो, वो भी हमें पुरवार करना है। इसलिए जो लोग गेस्ट आते हैं उनके लिए तीसरी चीज आपको करना है क्लीन सिटी। क्योंकि पिछले 2 साल से, इसके पहले भी आते थे अलग अलग नंबर पर, पिछले 2 साल से वी आर कंटिन्यू फर्स्ट इन द भारत इन क्लीन सिटी इन सूरत, वो प्रूव करना है हम सबको। अगर हमें अपना शहर का गौरव है हमें कि सूरत सिटी इज अ क्लीन सिटी इन द भारत, तो हमें भी अपना हर तरह का तरीका जो है वो क्लीन सिटी की तरह हमें महसूस करवाना है सभी को। वाई वी आर क्लीन, क्योंकि हम सब उनके जितने भी ये शहर के सिटीजन्स हैं, मोर देन 80 lakhs, हर एक को खुद को अपना गौरव महसूस करवाना है कि वी आर लिविंग इन क्लीन सिटी इन भारत। और तब होगा कि हम सब मिलके वो क्लीन सिटी के करने के लिए हम सब हर दिन हर पल प्रयास करें। तो मैं फिर से पूरे जो भी आदरणीय नीलांजलि जी और आदरणीय धारा जी और बाकी जितने भी 5 दिनों में जितने भी अपने गेस्ट आए, इनको मैं, जो मैंने पहली लाइन कहा कि सूरत का खाना, तो मैं हर बार कहता हूं कि सूरत सिटी का जो टोटल ह्यूमन बिहेवियर है, એટલે અમે ગુજરાતીમાં ઘણીવાર કહીએ છીએ કે વાણી, વ્યવહાર અને વર્તન, આ 3 બાબત જે છે એ ભારત રાષ્ટ્રની અંદર સૌથી સારી કોઈ હોય તો સુરત શહેરની છે। અને सूरत शहर नहीं है, अगर सूरत शहर को हम कहते हैं कि सबसे ज्यादा कम से कम झगड़ा लगता है, बाकी आप बाहर निकलो तो पता चलता है कि कितना झगड़ा होता है। यूनिवर्सिटी में भी कितना होता है, ये आगे धारा दीदी को बहुत सारे पता है, राजा दास जी को पता है। मगर सबसे कम है, इसके पीछे जो कोई है तो आप है, आपके पेरेंट्स है और पूरी ये शहर की जन आबादी। सभी के लिए आभार। वंदे मातरम। भारत माता की जय। जय जय गुजरात।
Well, thank you very much. It is always very delightful to listen to Honorable Vice Chancellor. I think there are 2 messages for you. Honorable Vice Chancellor said that the way the hall is full today, it should remain full till the last day. Because it is said we are all Arambhe Shura. We begin with thunder and then our enthusiasm fizzles down like, the burst of bubbles in a soda bottle. Well, I think we as a department received the biggest compliment, and that was that the team works more than they have worked in their marriages. We take that as a compliment, sir. We'll take a group photo. Sir is running late. He has so many commitments in his office. We'll first take the photograph. जुगनू सा जगाना पड़ता है। पूछा चिड़िया से कैसे बना आशियाना, पूछा चिड़िया से कैसे बना आशियाना, बोली भरनी पड़ती है उड़ान बार बार, तिनका उठाना पड़ता है। So for a program like this, thank you. बहुत सारे लोग थे जिसने ये तिनके उठाए हैं और उड़ान भरी है, और मैं उन सब का I would thank them on behalf of the department. I think I'll thank our visionary Vice Chancellor, Honorable Dr. Kishore C. Chavda, along with equally far-sighted, forward-looking Registrar, Honorable R.C. Gadviji, for supporting any academic event that takes place in the department. This event is organized under PM Usha funds. We need to thank KCG also for making available such a fund. I thank officially Professor Mahesh Kumar Dey, Head Department of English, who is always supportive for organizing relevant programs for the students. I thank all the staff members of the department who worked more than their marriages for this function. I thank participants who have come out in great numbers. I'm so happy. I hardly ever see the hall full the way it is today. I thank the volunteers. Without their hard work, an event of this magnitude is impossible. I thank support staff who have worked with a lot of energy and commitment. A special thank to the technical team. This program is live on YouTube channel of the department. I thank one and all who have contributed directly or indirectly to this program. Immediately after this program, we will begin with the first session. We have an eminent scholar with us, Dr. Niladri Sekhar Dasji, who would deliver his first session. Thank you all for being the part of this inaugural session.
Somebody might be there to see. This. So, my dear young friends, can you hear me? Yes, sir. Good morning. Good morning, sir. So today, there are certain formalities to complete before I start. The formality is that I must express my sincere gratitude and thanks that I have been invited here for the first time to come to this city and give my talk in the area of research. I'm a hardcore linguist working for the last 35 years in the area of language and technology, and I'm a hardcore researcher also. So today, I must express my sincere thanks to Professor Marx Day for inviting me, my colleagues, Professor Muri, and my young faculty member from another Central University of Gujarat. So this is a good opportunity for us to understand how we, the students of literature, can do some kind of unique research and commit ourselves to produce something unique for the benefit of the country. So I don't have the habit of sitting and giving talks. And I don't have the habit of holding this microphone to talk. So I usually roam around on the floor and try to establish a kind of link with my participants so that they get involved into the whole process of learning. Yeah. I can stand here. Then this basic problem is that I won't be able to communicate with them properly all the time. So you take some photographs, that's all.
You take care of the steps.
I will watch steps. I will be standing on that platform. I just ask somebody to change those. You can put some cameraman who can take care of that. Okay. Oh, this fixed. So I'll do more roaming around here only. Okay. So topic is something like that. Empirical methods and technology used in language research. By the way, how much time you are going to give me, sir?
1 hour for the lecture, 20 minutes for interaction.
Excellent. Sure. So you give me a signal so that I can stop. Now the question is, why do we want to research? What is the purpose? Suppose if I don't do research, what the hell is going on? Is there any loss? Why do we think that we should do research? Now let me put the things in a different way. Do you really do research in your day-to-day life? Why do you do that? Madam, be louder. To improve yourself. Fantastic. In what are the domains you do? Yes, fantastic. In choice of your food, in choice of your dress, in choice of the persons whom with you are going to interact, in choice of your language. So in every part of our life, we do some kinds of research, calculation, measurement, and judgment to proceed, to move, to achieve something in our life. We are going to expand the whole concept in our area of expertise. Now, as in our talk, Professor Muli was talking about, that we do research. And researchers in the discipline of literature normally live in a secluded life. I think, do I really need this one? It should be okay without that. I think so. I have a very loud voice and I can speak for hours. Don't worry. Coffee. Yes. Can you please change to the next slide? Please help me. Go to the next slide. I have 61 slides, but I won't be able to finish it. I will be honest. So what we can do is that I have to try to take you people to those areas where you have never traversed. So today it will be a different time. So we have tried to understand the first question, what is research? These are taken from different literature. Either you can read those things or you can skip. I don't have any problem at all. Come to the next slide. What are the purposes of research? Whenever we do some research, what is the goal? Pragmatically, what do you want to do there? You use some of your faculty from different angles, from different perspectives to come out with the best solution that can address your requirement at that particular point in time. Now this scope, if we expand a little more, Can you think that I can produce something, create something new, innovative, which has an application not only for me, but for the entire community, for a larger period of time, not only on a synchronic frame, but in a higher diachronic dimension, beyond the scope of any socio-political or socio-religious or socio-cultural boundaries? Here is the importance of research. Always keep in mind, every piece of research wants to add a new idea, a new knowledge, new concepts, new information, and that are important for the growth of an individual, for the growth, advancement of a society, as well as for the advancement of the entire civilization. So you are in a part of the whole process that every academician, every student go for this. Next slide, please. Young man, go to the next slide. So these are all typical objectives that we want to achieve through different types of research. And as far as research methodology, if you go to the net, you get thousands of different approaches, models applied for doing research. Now, I won't go into the ontological, hierarchical framework or classification schemes. What are the kinds of research you do in the domains of technology, in the domains of science, in the domains of humanities, social sciences, or in applications, or in real actual field of different kinds of industries. We'll try to concentrate primarily with language. Now, as a speaker of a particular language, suppose I assume that 90% or 99% of the people present here, they have Gujarati of their mother tongue. Now I ask you that is there anything left for Gujarati to improvement? No?
Yes.
Yes, agreed. Now my second question is a little more tricky. What are the things you think that Gujarati still needs? What are the things? You said that Gujarati still needs a lot of things. What are those things? What do you want? What do you think that which of the things is still missing for your mother tongue and you need so that your newer generation can have better understanding, better command, better exposure to your mother tongue? Tell me something.
As we are having mixture of language, we are using mixture of language. That's why we are not able to understand the basic words of our own language.
My dear young lady, do you think mixing is a very deadly thing?
No, it's not
Then-
deadly, but I'm saying
Don't you think that we can have the capacity to assimilate all those mixtures?
we have capacity.
Exactly, then why should we be afraid? 75% of the vocabulary of English is borrowed. Do you think English is so scared?
No.
That if some words comes into your vocabulary, you get more capacity to express, to capture, to share. So you should be happy. So every natural language has tremendous power to absorb ideas, to absorb concepts, to assimilate words and then reach. It's like a river. The more water it comes into it, it becomes more powerful, more productive, more energetic, and more powerful resource for the growth of the communities. So the moment you get a new word, actually you become more powerful than a second before. So be happy that we have got new ideas, new concepts. Now come to the next objective. Next slide, yeah. There are three major steps of research. Oh, it works? Oh, excellent. Thank you very much. I forgot to carry this one. I am a naive, very naive person, don't understand anything about research. Now I have a problem in my hand that I need to develop, say, some study materials for those young students who are studying masters. How should I do this? Now that has to be developed in a very innovative way, so that my students get a lot of new ideas, new concepts. So here is the first one. It's called pose a question or a hypothesis. I have to ask the question. So this is a problem area. How we are going to solve it? And you might have heard by this time that the first basic reason behind every research is, what is that? Need, a question. Necessity is the father of invention. Q is the all baseline for answers. Until and unless you have a Q, you won't get an answer. So my dear young friends, please carry Q as a necklace on your neck all the time. The moment you stop asking questions, you are not a researcher. This year. You must ask questions. That why this gentleman is standing here? Why have you spending half an hour time or 1 hour time interacting with this gentleman? So that question is not there. So first question or hypothesis. Now the moment you formulate a question, you know how much effort, cognitive effort is spent. Because proper question formation is a very important part in doing research. We always say, first learn how to form a question. There is a famous linguist in the country who is called the father of modern Indian linguistics. He used to always say, please learn how to form a question. How to ask the appropriate question is the most important part. And second one is equally powerful. You must learn where to stop. So please give me instruction where to start. I'll start. Now the second one is analyze data to answer questions. Since you have a hypothesis, what do you need then? Suppose if I say that all crows are black, this is a hypothesis. Will you agree with me or not? All crows are black. If I say this, will you agree with me? Why did you agree with me? Exactly. You need a data and evidence. Either to agree with me, or challenge me, or disagree with me, or form another hypothesis. The most important part is called analyze data to answer questions. Every empirical research, I'm not talking about theoretical research or experimental research. I'm talking about purely empirical research. Every empirical research needs huge amount of data to analyze. To analyze from various angles, using sometimes quantitative method, qualitative method, measurement method, and various kinds of statistics, cognitive, computational strategies to analyze data from various angles and perspectives, so that I can come out with some inferences that can either establish my hypothesis or refute. Third part, present answer to the questions, so that the first question that I have raised, the first hypothesis that I have formulated should be properly understood. Now these three steps, it takes 10 minutes to discuss, but a PhD scholar 7 years to complete. You can find out that how many sub-stages are involved in it. Come to the point. Young man, it's sleeping. No. This is an etymology of research. What is that? Meaning, research is English. Middle French was research, to go about seeking knowledge. And Old French was researcher, means researcher means to search. Morphology, read, prove, search, and to search again. So to search and search again. Sanskrit, equivalent is go, base, or na. Have you heard the term? In Sanskrit, gaveshana, go plus esona. Esona means knowledge. Go is light. And esona is basically search. Sorry, not knowledge, search. Go, gaveshana means search for light. See how insightful the car our sages made this term. So fantastic. Light here is basically in a metaphorical way. Every knowledge is enlightenment. Every knowledge is actually dispersed in the darkness. So Sanskrit says its Gobesana means search for light. So our basic task is in research, is go for searching for light. We have the dictionary definitions, Oxford, Merriam-Webster, Explorable, Cambridge English Dictionary, Collins Dictionary, or Dictionary.com. They are all taken from different home pages. So you can get this dictionary here, maybe 1,000 more definitions available. That will give you some understanding of the whole concept. Now here, when I do empirical research, I have to follow these 12 stages. Very systematically done. What is that? Now, observation of specific natural linguistic phenomena. Number one, if you are doing some study related to language or literature or something at the area of your discipline or area of your interest, first, observation of specific natural linguistic means any natural phenomena, maybe in the piece of literature or maybe in a cultural text or many area. Number two, identification of specific linguistic research problem. That when we do research, we try to find out exactly specific linguistic problem. That this is not still yet addressed, so we need to address that. Number three, formulation of specific linguistic research topic. Now, if you know, since you are coming from the background of literature, I don't know whether you have any exposure to language. Language as a discipline, language as a science. Okay, let me give you a very preliminary idea. We all use language, right? Let me ask you a very simple question. Is it possible that we can structurally, systematically, scientifically analyze the language we use? Is it possible or not? Good, fine. Let me come back then again. If I try to do that, how should we do it? Now, if I ask you, when you use your language, what do you use actually? See, you are a student of literature. You write every alternative day or almost every day. So you use language, either Gujarati or English or Hindi, whatever it may. So, what are the things you are using there?
Sound and structure.
Sounds and structure. At the time of writing, do you use sounds? Symbols, alphabets. Now let me ask you a little more complicated question. The structure. What structure you are talking about? Sentence structure. Excellent, fantastic. Now if I ask you, the way you form a sentence, is it arbitrary or there is some methods in the madness? Is this entirely arbitrary or there is some rules, systems, methodology, organization, pattern, grammar? There is grammar. What does grammar mean? Rules. So every language has a rule, very well defined, systematic, organized rules. And we construct based on those rules. Now, if we break that rule, that becomes grammatically irrelevant or wrong. Now, I want to understand that grammar. How does it work? This is my research topic. So, can you please advise me how should I proceed? I want to understand the grammar of English. Please advise me how should I proceed? How should I do that? You are all university most coveted, chosen, younger generation of the country. Be louder. Think. I'm asking you, please advise me. I have to do some grammatical analysis of English. How should I do this? Think seriously. I need large number of sentences, right? And try to analyze them in a very systematic order and try to find out how those sentences are formed. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to find out the rules behind these constructs. Okay? So what I'm doing, when I take a whole sentence, if I decompose it, what are the things I'll get? Parts of speech. May I ask you to think from a different perspective? If I get a full sentence, say the man is running on the road in the morning. I ask you to break the sentence in manageable units. What do you get? Only words. Only words arranged in a particular sequence, particular order, so that I get this. Now if I say a lion killed a person in Gir forest, do you think this is a grammatically valid sentence? A lion killed a person in the Gir forest. Is it a valid sentence or not? Yes. Now if I change, a man killed a lion in the Gir forest, is it a valid sentence?
Right.
Both are right. But my next question is very more complicated. The information that you receive in the sentence 1 and the information that you are receiving in sentence 2 are the same? No. But their structures are same. So what is the problem there? How the arrangement of lexical items, that is what, change the meaning of the entire construction. That is an important constraint then for us. So I have to understand how those words should be organized so that I can have a very proper understanding of the meaning of the sentence. Now, let us go to that. I'll go not that. It's a very complicated process because I have to come back because many of us are not properly exposed to the hardcore linguistic research. So I will make little more simplified for you people. Now, let me put another important part for you. All of us write texts, right? Either in classroom situation or writing a passage or giving answers or all kinds of paragraphs. During that time, what kind of research do you do? Suppose you are asked to write something on the area of your choice and you are asked that you write a full paragraph. What are the things you do? What kind of research you do there?
First we will research and read some articles and then we will decide what we need to write.
Good. Now the question is, the moment you read those articles, my next question is, why do you read them?
Collect information and facts to understand.
To collect information and facts and to know what are the activities already been done. So that I don't walk on the same path. My basic understanding is that I have to know what are the things have been done earlier so that I don't repeat the same task again. So that I know what are the things undone, what are the things untouched, what are the things not even attempted. So I can explore those areas. Here's the game plan if you want to do the research. Here you can find out, we normally call this a staircase model of research. From starting this point to that point you have to come, that is formulation of a research problem, theoretical relevance of that particular problem, why it is so relevant or important for us to study, application relevance of that problem. Most of the time literary studies that is not there, but for us It is always there. Whatever research I do, I have to just justify what are its immediate application, short-term, long-term, or distant applications. Next, survey of earlier records on that particular area. We make an elaborate survey to find out if somebody has worked on it. And if he has worked on it, what was his or her strategies, methods, and what was her findings, so that my research work should not go in that direction. I should have a different way, different path to achieve that target which has never been attempted before. So always keep in mind in your research, whatever you say, there should be some elements of novelty, some elements of uniqueness, some new findings. You can challenge the existing knowledge. We don't have any problem at all. But you must speak something new. You must argue with different logic. Then formulation of hypothesis, collection of empirical data, processing language data. Language data or text processing is a highly complicated computational task. I won't go into that part. Some little ideas I will give. Then hypothesis testing and verification. What are the new findings you have got? You, based on those findings, you do some hypothetical testing. That my earlier hypothesis is this is my new finding, and do they match or not? If not, why are not matching? And you have the full right to deviate. Then presenting your results for publication or for circulation or for as a thesis. When you do language data analysis, let me come back to our very preliminary stage. Normally we teach our students at the master's level that when you are going to do some linguistic research, language related research, what do you do? We normally take written text data. You know the language has two variations. One is the spoken form and another written form. Now should I ask you that, do they really differ or not? Do our written form of language differ from spoken form? Yes. Fantastic, you are trapped. Now tell me, how do they differ? If you agree that they differ, you must know why they differ and how they differ. Why do you think that written form is characteristically different from the spoken form? What are the unique characteristics of speech that is not represented in writing? Or what are the unique characteristics of writing that is not captured in the spoken form? Dialect, no. Suppose, yes? Phonetics, excellent. Is there any other component? Yes, young man?
When we write, we have already planned about it.
Good, very good.
When we speak, we will speak about different topics.
Good. We have that kind of freedom, impromptu, surreptitious constructions. So spoken form has more properties into it in understanding a discourse. Why? The spoken form not only uses speech, but also uses non-verbal strategies. What is those non-verbal strategies? Now, intonation, tonal variation, pause, then junctures, repetitions, false starts, emotional properties, heighten of the voices, lowering of the dramatic qualities, all those contribute in a far better way in comprehension of a text. And you might be observing that the moment I speak, I move my hand so fast, I rotate. So this is basically another strategy to bring my ideas home to the other end. So this is called basically a non-verbal cues that we use in proper establishment of communication. Like gestures, movement, eye rotation, facial expressions, kinesis, proxemics, and many other body language, even smile, laughter, loudness, all those properties come into communication. So spoken form has large amount of information for us to communicate, to establish link, to carry my ideas on the other side of the table than the written form. So written form is fixed pattern. So much of varieties are not available. But the problem is somewhere else. See, you find out that spoken form has so many advantages. Even then, we are concentrating on written text. What is the problem with us then? Problem is that the more properties means more difficult to handle. If I have a spoken text data and have so many properties which has to be properly investigated before a deduction, inference is deducted, then you need far more complicated mechanism to decipher, to extract information out of it. Processing of the spoken text is far more complex task, which is not so easy to do. So we normally go for written text data because that has a limited scope and that gives us better skills to process it. What happens? We take written text data, that is the digital sources, then use some technology to store, to process, to annotate, and to come out with some findings. Now, when we take out spoken text data, the situation becomes a little more complicated. Let me come back to a very reality. All of us have experienced that what I wanted to say to my closest friend and what she or he understood are two different things. Right? Now, jokes apart, I have a serious question here. Why did it happen? You wanted to say your boyfriend that I love you. He becomes angry and said that stop nonsense. I know that. Why did it happen? Very serious question for us. What was wrong with us? Now this is a very empirical, a very serious research question that in spoken text, generation and reception and interpretations are conditional on various semiotic, socio-semiotic, discursive and pragmatic factors, which are again normally controlled by extra linguistic cues like social setting, cultural belief, knowledge system and many other components. Analyzing those things, we need dialogues, monologues, dictation, mediation, negotiation and conversations. Look at that. So much of varieties of spoken dialogues, what we normally call dialogue, is not a dialogue. Do you know that difference is there between dialogue and conversation? Good, fantastic. Now, you know the difference between monologue? Now, there is a new term is coming up, polylogue. You also know that dictation and mediation, you know? Mediation? Don't know. Most of the Indian traditional marriage was done by the middleman, you know? And what was the role of the middleman? What was the role? To make an event successful. He used to mediate with the groom party as well as the bride party. So you would go and say that or not only Acha, the groom is like Bahubali. Or the bride is like maybe coming from different heaven. So that this is a common mediation. I'm just telling you a very important knowledge for you. This is taken from Nicaragua, a story. The how mediation starts place. That a man, his wife, and his old mother, very poor family living near the island, and having no children. So that man was trying to earn some money so that he can give his family good food. His wife is crying for a baby, and his mother is very old, cannot see, and very poor. So he was praying every night that God give me some blessing so that he can solve this. Then one day God came and said, young man, I am very happy with your prayers, but I can approve only one of your prayers. Now you decide which one you want. So he was confused that he needs money, his wife needs sleep, his mother needs eyesight. How to do it? So he went to the village head man and said that God will come back tomorrow, and after that I have to ask for only one prayer. What should I ask? Then that meditator, the old man said, okay, you come back in the evening, I'll find out a solution. Then when he came back in the evening, the man said that you say to the God that God, you are so great, I don't want anything. My wife also has said that she doesn't want anything. But my mother is old mom. She has only one wish. She wishes that before she dies, she wants to see her grandson eating milk and rice in a golden bowl. See, this is called mediation. The magic is when you do linguistic analysis of the contextual discourse analysis, as a student of literature, you can find out how different kinds of knowledge, different kinds of requirements, different kinds of arguments are embedded in a single frame to achieve your target. This unique linguistic strategy is a very important component in analyzing texts. You might have come across the called textual analysis, where we have to probe into every part of the text, every structure of the text, starting from the use of punctuation marks to the highest whole level of thesis or the whole text. We have to interpret in multiple ways to understand how the knowledge or the ideas are embedded. Now, we are talking about multimodal text. This is a very difficult question for us. For the last 20 or 25 years, I have been dealing with spoken text data as well as written text data. Now, recently, we have come across another big challenge, multimodal text. That means audio plus video. Now, the moment I get a video, you find out that most of the times our communication depends on the visual realization or visual understanding of the things involved in a discourse. Now, if you look at the structure of a particular discourse, here you get the multimodal text. It is not only the text. Think of a cinema or a YouTube channel. What do you find? Now you find there is sound, there is noise, there is actions, there is speech, there is gestures, there is mixing, there is background. All those information are actually stored into it. So I need a very well-defined framework how to analyze a multimodal text. For the time being, I can give you this problem to all of you. Think how you can analyze a multimodal text. So whenever we think about this multimodal text, we have to use a lot of innovative ideas to address these problems. Now, data elicitation. When you do empirical research, we said large amount of data is required. There is no doubt. Now the question is, how to get data? Now, okay, let me ask you very simple questions for all of you. Have you heard the name of Mark Twain? Have you read any book of Mark Twain? What is that? Adventure of Huckleberry Finn or Adventure of Tom Sawyer. Now, if I ask you, what is the stylistic strategies this gentleman has used in his writings? How can you answer this question? The question is very simple. What kind of strategies, styles that gentleman used to construct Adventure of Tom Sawyer and Adventure of Huckleberry? Is this question clear? Now please tell me how I should address this problem. What would be my best way? Are you confused? Simple question. Get the whole text. Get the whole text in digital form, put into systematic order, do some analysis, identify the unique stylistic features, assemble them, analyze them, Draw some inferences. Problem is solved. Why you are so confused? I'll take some support from technology to address this problem. Now I have my technology at my hand. The moment I say that I need the whole text, it is easily downloadable. I store the whole text. All the text, not only Huckleberry or Thamser, I can get the entire text produced by, say, Mark Twain. In fact, we did the same kind of study for Oscar Wilde. Now, once you have the entire data at your disposal, you can use various automated text processing tools and techniques. I'll show some, if time permits, by which you can get better perspective. Now, if I say, in the writings, Mark Twain has used several humorous terms. Am I right or wrong? Mark Twain has used several humorous terms, funny expressions in his text to generate humor, fun. Am I right or wrong? How can we be that I am right?
Because in the dialogue mentioning, he uses the dialect, and the dialect which shows there is
It's not dialect, it's dialects.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's the incorrect of the writer.
Good. What is the point is that? Now, I can be wrong or I can be right in my claim. Until and unless you have sufficient data to either approve or disapprove, you cannot say whatever thing I am talking is right or wrong. So if I say that Mark Twain has used so many funny expressions, you immediately challenge me. How do you know it? Where is your evidence? Then I show here is the text. So much of expressions is used. These are funny in sense, and we can argue that okay, he has used funny expressions. So what I'm trying to draw your kind attention to the ground truth. Until and unless you have enough evidence, no proposition is a truth. So you must understand very clearly, whatever claim you make on your researching, you need enough evidence to prove it. And that evidence either can come from the text itself, or maybe corroborating texts, or you can use some technology, tools, to extract within the text. Now, let me come back to your domain again. Have you read The Heart of Darkness? Yes. Excellent. What is the best part of this story? Or Ulysses? What is the best part of this novel? What is the most important part of this novel? Frame narrative. What beyond that? That was basically a kind of tricky construction, but most important part was that he used large number of new English terms. Largest number. Ulysses and Heart of Darkness are considered that James Joyce has used largest number of new terms. Now how do they know it? Because that data is now available in digital form, and the entire list of words that has been used for those construction of those texts are statistically measured. And now we have found out what kind of constructions Conrad has used, what kind of sentences he has used, what kind of lexical items are used, and how he constructed those things, utilized those things to construct his ideas. So these are the very important part. Something is changed. Okay, fine. So data elicitation is a very important part for us. And you have to know how to collect data and from different sources. Now when we want to speak, okay, let me ask you a very simple question, very interesting question. Now I want some good spoken Gujarati sample for my research. Please advise me. My question is very simple. I want some spoken Gujarati data for developing some speech technology for Gujarati. Now I have come to you people, young ladies, young gentlemen, please tell me how should I get those data? Tell me. How should I get? Who will give me the data? How should I procure that? Then I'll go the next stage. Recording, fantastic. Good. But who will provide me the data? Who is? Do you think the news channel is the right representation of spoken Gujarati? No. No. So I need data from the common people. Data from the common people using language in every possible situations of their life. How should I get them? Interacting with them. My interaction is not recorded. I need two Gujarati people speaking between themselves. I get that data. So that I know exactly how Gujarati data is being used by people. What are their unique phonetic properties, linguistic properties, structural properties, how the emotions are embedded, how they express their ideas, all those things. So that I can develop an artificial tool which you use in a mobile or smartphones interactive way so that that text particular machine can respond to your queries, can understand your speech and give responses, whatever questions you ask, like ChatGPT for AI. I want it for Gujarati. Interviews. Now the question, first question, who will provide you the data?
Online sources.
Yes?
Online sources.
Online, no idea, that won't help us. I need every person of the community has a representation. Now you tell me, if I want to have the entire speaking community to be properly represented in my data, what would be the best way? Good. Questionnaire is a process through which I want to get data. But I want how the community members should be represented. Random sampling. Sampling can be random sampling or selective sampling or snowball sampling or whatever the statistical model I take. The variables I need, demographic variables, male and female. So gender is a parameter. Younger, older, and aged. Age is another parameter. Ethnicity can be another parameter. Profession can be another parameter. Southern part of Gujarat, northern part of Gujarat, central part of the Gujarat can be another parameter. Migrated people, sir, like sir has developed fantastic Gujarati database, speech sound. So that can be another option. So I need to all those variations to be considered together, so that I get the sufficient amount of data. And that should come in audio version. So my first research question, how to represent the entire Gujarati community in my data. We have some mathematical model, I won't go into the details. But point is that I want some people to coming from every walk. So profession can be another parameter, because those people who are weaving or those people who are with milk business or doing some other kinds of activities, they can have different vocabulary, different constructions. So all those things has to be captured. So I will use all those kinds of things. There are also secondary sources, but I won't go for that. I am primarily interested in it. Then what happens? The kind of data we collect is not easy to analyze. I can give some ideas, but that is not scientific. The moment we get the data, suppose you have all smartphone, right? Sometimes 2, 3, even more. Specifically, this is for my this friend, this is for my that friend, this is for my parents, and this is for officials, and many other dimensions. But the moment you collect data in your smartphone, our next question comes, how to store them? Okay? Now, you can store your data in your mobile, but that might have a very limited capacity. How to store them? What kind of technology normally you use? How do you store data?
We can use cloud storage to store our data.
Do you use hard disk, HDD? or external hard disk or pen drive. I have a pen drive in my pocket because I thought that if I don't get any support, I'll be using this one. I have different kinds of storage devices, and I all know all of you have some different storage. Now, the second important question will be purely scientific. How did you store? You store those data in certain ways so that you can properly retrieve them whenever it is required. So your storage system helps you to retrieve those data. This is a part basically store and management. So you can also customize that this data is related to that domain, this data is related to that domain. Also, you do a kind of modeling based on which you classify those data. Then you comes here. We go for annotation. Annotation means typically and scientifically in research. Every research, either it is science or humanities, you have to do annotation. What is annotation? Annotation means addition of additional information to a text so that your further classification analysis is simplified, which is known as scientific annotation. What do you do? Now suppose you have collected data 1 year back and you have collected data 11 months back. So the last 1 year you have collected 12 times in every month. How do you store them? Do you put any signal marker so that you can identify which year it belongs or which month it belongs or which locality it belongs or which kind of text it belongs? That kind of information is called metadata. That kind of information is called annotation. Now, this can be done inside the text or outside the text. Now, suppose in a particular piece of text, you identify that one paragraph is very much relevant for your research. What do you do there? What do you do? Fantastic, good. You highlight them or underline them or copy it or put a mark into it. Some flag you put there so that you can in appropriate time retrieve that one and put to furnish your argument. This is an annotation. Every researcher, best annotation is basically when you write journal papers. A one serious problem for us is reference. Right? Which model do you follow? APA, MLA, or Chicago manual? MLA, fantastic. Now, if you do that,
For language AP.
that is. Now you can go any model, but you should be consistent across. Now, when you go for that, have you seriously minutely observed what is there? MLA, you have said, fine, I have no problem at all. But I would ask that in which way those information is arranged. Tell me. What is the mechanism used? And why that particular mechanism used? What kind of advantages do you get out of it? Why I should follow this? So see, the entire reference part is a very rigorous part of our research. Unfortunately, no Indian university has a course on how to refer inside and outside the field. This is the 170 university I am giving talks. I've been giving talks from 2001. This is 170th. Nowhere in the university I have said how students should do properly reference part inside and outside. Not taught. So whenever they submit their thesis, we always put red marks. Not properly done, not rightly done, not properly referred to, not properly cited. That means this is a very serious business for us. This is annotation. Now, ML, what kind of information we put inside the text while you are citing a reference work? What do you put?
Author's name,
Only author's name.
year of publication,
Only year of publication.
page number.
Page number. What else?
Title and text. Name of the text.
First, title of the author, comma, or author, then put a dot, then put comma, then put year, then a colon, then page number. What are the advantages? Why do you do that? Who has said it, in which book, and which page it is referred to. So that clearly indicates that scholar has actually read that book and knows in which paper it is cited. It is given. You need to know, understand that mechanism, that annotation. Now, if I put only number 1 within square bracket, epirals, what are the information missing?
Page number.
Then how to get it? In a book, 500 pages book, I need to know in which page it is said. But in API it is only third bracket number 1, name of the book. How to get it? I have to go to the reference part, there I have to put the page number. And if that book is referred to several times, I have to do it. When should I? Why? Oh, okay, I'll find. I'll take. Normally I take for 2-3 hours at a stretch. 10 to 12, 1, then get a break, then go for another one. Because I normally try to be interactive with the students so that they become alert and aware that what is going on in the classroom. So here is the important part for us is that in reference part we have to cite that. And this can be challenged in a different mechanism. Now, when I put those information, you know that the difference between bibliography and reference. What is that? In thesis, we always write bibliography. In journal papers, we always write reference. Do you think there is any difference? What is that?
Bibliography is a collection of books that we read.
Or reference is a collection of books that you don't read.
We cite in the paper.
No, my dear. No, my dear. Bibliography means some of the books I might have read, some of the books are third type references. Means this book also discusses this issue, but it may not that I have read it. But in my whole course of my discussion, it comes, so I cite it. But in reference part, I have read every piece of text that I am referring in my article. So journal paper never takes bibliography. It is always reference. So these things has to be understood for us, and we use various kinds of annotations inside the text. Now, if you find, I'm just making things a little more complicated. If you find a book which has, say, 10 chapters, and 10 chapters written by 10 different authors, dealing with 10 different topics, how you are going to cite that work in your research work? What would be your methodology? Then again, the most important part is called annotation, comes in. For us, in the linguistics cases, in a written text or in a spoken text, we first do that annotation. Now this particular text, look at that text. What is its orthography? It is written in Bangla, Gujarati, Roman, or Tamil. This particular text, whole text, is written in which orthography? English. Is it English orthography or Roman orthography? I am talking about not language, I am talking about orthography. It's a Roman script or Latin script. Now, orthography level, if I want to have the information in that particular text, orthography is basically Latin or Roman. English is the language, mind that, make distinction. Script and language are two different things. Let us be very clear about it. It is written in, I can also, this entire thing written in Gujarati through transcription. And that I can say that I have used Gujarati script, but language is English. I can say, hey, most of the time you have a smartphone, don't be afraid. You always write, suppose a Gujarati expression, you write in Roman script. Don't you do that? Quite often. So use one script, but use different language. Or English, I love you can very much write in Gujarati script. So use an English language, but use in Gujarati script. So here, I need to have a proper information that the text that I produce has a particular language. So this is orthography. Then prosody. Have you heard the concept of prosody? What is that? Rhetorics. Have you heard?
Yes.
How does it differ from prosody? What is that prosody? We have undergone through graduation. Graduation, we have a course on prosody, right? Rhetorics and prosody.
We wanted to answer. Please answer.
Yeah, please answer. Yeah.
Mostly focuses on the rhythm and what meter it is written.
Good, very good, very good.
What rhetoric, that how it has been spoken and put in the language.
No, rhetoric is basically related to stylistics.
Yeah.
Figurative usages of various types, metaphoric usages, or different figure of speech. Prosody is related to the properties used in speech. Say loudness, softness, undulations, length, pause, silence, non-beginnings, non-ends, abrupt ending, repetition, hedges, all those properties are prosodic elements of text. Only in stylistics we talk about metrical structures, rhymes, and rhythms, monoic break, and syllable structures. All those things are purely stylistic. But when we deal with language data, our prosodic properties are these, because these are spontaneous properties of a speech. So when we mark them, then there is a grammatical structure. Grammatical structure, what are the major things you have read in grammar? When you are taught in schools, grammar, what are the things you are taught? Parts of speech. Good. Okay, let us start with parts of speech. What is parts of speech? See, tomorrow we go back and your younger brother asks you, Didi, what is parts of speech? What would be your answer, my dear? Very simple. What is parts of speech? Yes.
The components that constitute our speech.
Good.
Part of the speech.
That's a parts of speech. Does it really parts of speech? So parts of speech means in a speech there are several parts. And do you agree that each one is different or same? Different? Yes. Fine. How do you know that each one is different and what is his identity marker? So if I say that a man is giving talk in Navalram Hall, do you think all words are same? No. Fine. A man. What is A? A man? Noun. Very good. Giving, is, good. Giving, good. In giving a talk, again an article as a noun, and in preposition, Navalram noun, hall noun. Now, why didn't say man as an article and A as a noun? Why did you say A as an article and man as a noun? What is your logic? Why did you do this? What triggered you to say that this man is a noun or a personal noun, a human noun, plus is a human, plus animate, plus male, plus singular? So much of properties are embedded into you. Now you have assigned the parts of speech value, n or noun to it based on the grammar of a particular language and based off your understanding. Now that is noun, and I'll put you to that is called our grammatical analysis. Here every component has to be marked like this. Then comes semantic, that meaning information embedded. Then comes syntactic, the grammatical part. Then anaphoric. Anaphora is basically a very complex concept. Ram asked Jadu to call his brother. Whose brother you are talking about?
Ram's brother or Jadu's brother?
Whose brother? Ram asked Jadu to call his brother. Whose brother? I always, in all my talks, I've said that this is called a complicated anaphora. He loves his wife. He and he is the same person or two different persons?
Same person.
If it is a same person, we don't have any problem. If it is different, then it is not a pure linguistic problem, so it is social problem. So the question is, that kind of complexity. I saw a lady in the park with a in my hand. Who was carrying the binocular? The lady or myself? I'm not sure. I saw a lady in the park with a binocular with a binocular.
Both the expressions.
I don't know. That kind of complexities, ambiguities are very natural in natural languages. And I need a kind of anaphoric strategy to solve that. Then there comes figurative expressions. A lot of figurative expressions we always use. So all those expressions that somebody is tiger, somebody is something like that, all those things are always used. Then also there is a concept called etymological annotation, which is far more complex. I won't go into that, how the words are originated and their history is marked into it. So that is basically a kind of text normalization issue which comes into picture. Since I will bind up that, I will just tell only one part. Come to the last point. I will go these all NLP related hardcore error problem. I'll come to this.
Give some.
I am just question or ask last part. I'll say. Once the text analysis part is done, what happens? Now, reporting results derived from different analysis. So what I am discussing, try to draw your attention that you have to go much more critical, analytic, and every step you have to ask a question. And you don't stop until and unless you get an answer which satisfies you. So if you want to be a good researcher, you have to have a necklace with Q hanging from your neck all the time. Otherwise you are not a good researcher. Once you come reporting results, then evaluate the researches according to the achieved results. So the moment you set a target that in this research, I wanted to achieve this part. Now after 6 years of rigorous effort, fight with your teacher, supervisor, university, funding agencies, everything, you come out with something. Then you sit down one day in the morning and try to understand, did I respond to all the questions that I raised 6 years back? If not, then perhaps there are some deficiencies. And you have to talk out, mark out, what are the deficiencies still there? And you have to also find out why those deficiencies are there. Ultimately, the publication of research outputs for global access. Because I have said that your knowledge is a new knowledge now. Once you successfully complete a PhD thesis, be sure that you are going to contribute something new to the discipline, to the community, to the readers, and entire knowledge scheme. So that should be made available. Your thesis is no more your thesis now. It's a knowledge of the society. So make it public, make it available. But if you go through a kind of plagiarism test, then there is a different story. But the point is that the moment you complete a research work, you are actually contributing a new knowledge for the understanding of the problem. So must make it available to all. Then what happens? How it is important to us? Why government is giving so much of public money for doing research? Government is not my father. Then why he is giving so much of money for us? You have to add. There's a government sector gets benefited. Business sector gets benefited. Education sector get benefited, and human resources get benefited. So the responsibility which you have been carrying for last 5 years has at least 4 layers of hidden beneficiaries. So for them, you must make your research output public and open for further research and studies. So with these, I should say namaskar and stop here. Time is not here, so otherwise I should have gone to a little more complex part of the NLP. But anyway, I'm open now for applause and I'm ready to respond. Thank you very much. So tell us if there is any question. If not,
So if you have very specific questions,
you can ask, or even a generic one.
but we should confine to one or two. We can take one or two questions. We as per the time schedule, we have to stop at 1 and we should go for the lunch break. But because you have a resource person with you, and if some of you are having some doubts or some questions, you have noted down some questions, then you should try to ask him. Otherwise, you can just, I will advise you, you can go for lunch and you can put your questions in your mind, and after the lunch, he will be available for half an hour or something. You can interact at a personal level, because we have to also go to the second resource person.
And if you don't have any question, I have a question. Because I am a born researcher, I have no other option. But do you think that this knowledge would be very useful for your studies?
Yes.
Thank God. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, we can then call it a session. Or is there any question or query?
Any questions?
Tell something. Otherwise I feel depressed. You know.
Last chance.
Yes.
One resource scholar is there.
Young man, tell me.
जोर से बोलो.
So you mentioned that in that structure of language, that should be analyzed by that structure of words.
Yes.
But in literature, there are many texts which have not been written in the structure of language. I give example like Finnegan's Wake by James Joyce, and Portrait of the Artist by Zinman Under, and another author is Italo Calvino from Italy. So they have written texts which are not arranged in such a words. Like Finnegan's Wake ends with the word the.
Good.
So in that, if you see, there are no structures of sentences, structures of paragraphs, and structures of event even. So how would we go for the research, as you mentioned, that structure in the way of structure? How would we go in that language structure?
Fantastic question. And you know that you have already given the answer. There is no structure in the form of the structure as we understand for a text. The author has designed a new structure of its own to represent his text. So even if you don't see a structure of the standard one, he has designed a new innovative structure of its own. So there is still a structure which does not match with the existing structure. So even if he, like Widdowson's famous line that leaves fall and L all goes downwards, there itself is a structure which deviates from the norm and establishes new pattern. So every construction has its structure, either you agree or disagree. So whenever you analyze a structure, a text, you may not find similarities with the existing structures, but that text itself has its own non-structure based on which you have to initiate the research. So your question itself carries an answer for that. Got my point? Okay, thank you.
So on behalf of the Department of English and Bir Narmad South Gujarat University, I convey my heartfelt thanks to Professor Das. At a very short notice, I invited him, and coincidentally it happens that way. I'm a Bengali migrated to Odisha, born and brought up in Odisha, and he's an Odia migrated to Bengal and grew up in Bengal, and we are together here, and so thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.